Welcome to Cost Saver Conversations. I'm Angela, and I ask the practical questions so you can quickly understand what matters. Today, I'm joined by Assad.
Hi, Angela. We are unpacking Beat UK traffic, hidden commute patterns that save hours today, and tying it back to the wider cost saver ecosystem, including tools like UK traffic, so you can turn insights into action quickly.
Just a heads up before we dive in, we are your synthetic hosts. We are great with numbers, but as AI, we can sometimes be confidently wrong. Think of us as the digital versions of your most knowledgeable, slightly caffeinated friends.
Exactly. Treat this chat as a smart estimate only, not as professional financial guidance. Always check important details with official sources or a qualified expert before making any big decisions.
Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are diving into something that, honestly, I think most of us just dread the commute. And Assad's here again to help us figure out how to make it less painful. Hi, Assad.
Hey, Angela, good to be back. Yeah, this is one of those topics where once you actually see the numbers, you kind of can't unsee them, you know?
Oh, God, yeah. I feel like I spend half my life sitting in traffic, especially mornings. It's just, ugh. So hit me with it. How bad is it really?
Okay, so the average UK driver loses 73 hours a year to congestion. That's from the NRICS 2023 Global Traffic Scorecard. 73 hours just gone. And financially, that works out to about £804 a year.
Wait, 73 hours? That's like nearly 2 full working weeks.
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
And 804 pounds? That's a holiday, like a proper holiday.
It really is. And okay, if you're in London, brace yourself. Londoners lose 148 hours a year, more than 6 full days, and 1,634 pounds.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
It is. But here's the thing that I think most people don't realize. Roughly 60% of the time you lose in traffic, it's avoidable through smarter timing and routing, not by, moving house or quitting your job.
60%? Seriously? Because I kind of just assumed it was, you're stuck with it. That's the deal. You commute, you sit in traffic, you hate it.
No, no, no. And okay, let me give you a real example. There was this woman, Sarah from Reading, marketing manager. She used to leave at 8 a.m. for a 9 a.m. start in central London. Her commute was 78 minutes.
Okay.
She tracked her journey for 2 weeks, shifted her departure to 7:35 a.m., and her average dropped to 51 minutes. That's nearly 4.5 hours a week saved, and about 340 pounds a year in fuel and reduced wear on the car.
Oh, for just a 25-minute shift? That's wild.
Right? And people don't think about the wear and tear side of it. Stop-start traffic is just brutal on clutches, brake pads, hybrid batteries. Plus, and this is one that catches people off guard, longer commutes and higher mileage can quietly push up your insurance premium at renewal.
I hadn't thought about the insurance thing at all, actually.
Yeah, it's one of those compounding costs that just stacks up invisibly.
Okay, so if we're not just stuck with it, how do we actually beat it? What are these hidden patterns?
Right. So the first thing to understand is that rush hour isn't just one big wall of traffic. It's actually a series of overlapping waves. And once you can see the waves, you can sort of slip between them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like surfing between the peaks instead of getting smashed by them.
Exactly. So the classic morning peak runs from about 7:30 and 9:15. But in commuter belts around London, Manchester, Birmingham, it often starts earlier, like 6:45, because everyone's already trying to beat the crush.
Right, so it feeds on itself.
Yeah, and within that, there are three distinct sub-peaks. You've got the early bird wave, 6:45 to 7:15. That's your shift workers and long-distance commuters. Then the school run wave, 8:15 to 8:50, which is honestly the single biggest cause of urban congestion during term time. And then the office wave, 8:45 to 9:15, your classic 9 to 5 crowd.
Okay, and between those?
Between those is where it gets interesting. The gap between 7:15 and 7:45 often surprisingly quiet. And then there's this weird lull around 9:20 once the school run's cleared and the office arrivals have settled in. In most UK towns, Shifting your departure by just 20 minutes earlier or 25 minutes later than the peak can cut your journey time by 30 to 45%.
30 to 45% for 20 minutes? That's okay, so it's not about dragging yourself out of bed at 5 a.m., it's about being surgical with these little windows.
Exactly. Surgical is the right word.
What about evenings? Is the pattern similar or?
Evenings are trickier, honestly. The evening peak is longer and less predictable. It starts around 3:15 with the school pickup, builds through 4 p.m., and doesn't fully clear until like 6:45 or even later. And Fridays are consistently the worst. The peak often extends past 7 p.m. in most cities.
Fridays. Yeah, I always notice Fridays are hellish.
And here's another thing with evenings. Weather hits way harder. A bit of rain during the morning rush might add 10% to your journey time. The same rain at 5 p.m. can add 40% because road capacity is already completely stretched.
40% from rain? That's wow. Okay. And I always thought Mondays were the worst overall. That's the common wisdom, isn't it?
It used to be true, but hybrid working has completely flipped it. Post-pandemic data consistently shows Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are now the busiest days on UK roads because those are the days most hybrid workers choose to go in.
Oh, so Monday and Friday are actually.
The quietest. Yeah, sometimes journey times are 20 to 25% shorter than a Wednesday. So if your job gives you any flexibility on which days you go in, that alone is huge.
That's actually really reassuring for people who can flex their days. Okay, so beyond these daily peaks, are there bigger patterns people miss?
Yeah, definitely. The school term effect is a big one. During half-term weeks or the 6-week summer break, morning peak congestion drops by 15 to 30% in most cities and is strongest in suburban areas where the school run really dominates.
So if you know your local school calendar, you can basically predict the good weeks in advance.
Exactly. Although, one thing to watch out for, school holidays don't align perfectly across the UK. Scottish schools break up weeks earlier for summer than English ones, and independent schools often finish before state schools, so you really need to check your specific local calendar.
Good point. What about weather beyond rain? You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, so this is one that surprised me when I first saw the data. Low winter sun on east-west routes, roughly between 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. from mid-November to late January, it can slow traffic by 20% just from reduced visibility. Drivers ease off and everything backs up.
Low sun. I've definitely experienced that. You know, when you're driving into it and you literally can't see, but I never connected it to the overall traffic pattern.
Right. And fog affects rural A roads way more than motorways because motorways have better lighting and lane markings. So if your route mixes both, fog days are really worth avoiding if you can.
Huh. Okay. Any other hidden ones?
There's what we call the delivery van bulge. Between 9:30 and 11:30 a.m., urban roads get this distinct secondary peak driven almost entirely by delivery vans and couriers. It's grown massively with same-day delivery services. So if you're thinking, oh, I'll run my errands at 10 a.m., it'll be quiet. It's actually not.
Huh, fair enough. I've definitely fallen into that trap. Okay, so all of this general stuff is great, but my commute is, mine. It's got its own weird quirks. How do I actually apply this?
Yeah, this is the crucial bit. You need to find your personal commute window. And the best way to start is dead simple. For 10 working days, just log 5 things: the exact time you left, the exact time you arrived, the weather, any unusual events like accidents or roadworks, and your stress level on a scale of 1 to 10.
That's it? That takes like 30 seconds.
30 seconds. And what happens is you start spotting patterns you never noticed. Maybe Tuesdays are always 8 minutes longer, or leaving at 8:07 consistently saves you 15 minutes over leaving at 8:15. It's the specificity is what matters.
The 8-minute difference between 8:07 and 8:15, that's so specific, but I can totally see how that would be real.
And then you want to identify your bottlenecks. Every commute has 1 or 2 choke points that basically determine the whole journey time. Could be a motorway junction, a roundabout near a retail park, a school zone, a level crossing, whatever it is. If your bottleneck is a school zone, you just need to clear it before 8:20 or after 8:55. The rest of your route is probably fine.
Oh, that's smart. So you're not fighting the entire route, you're just solving for that one sticky point.
Exactly. And then this is where our window finder tool comes in. You put in your specific route, it analyzes historical traffic patterns, and it identifies the 15 to 30-minute departure windows where you're most likely to have a clear run. It's free, takes about 2 minutes, no sign up needed.
Okay, I'm definitely going to try that. So once someone has all this data, what are the practical moves?
All right, so first thing, if you can, negotiate flex with your employer. Not full remote necessarily, just a 30-minute shift on your start and finish times. If you frame it as a productivity gain, I'll arrive less stressed, I'll stay later, most managers are receptive. And the numbers are real. Shifting from a 9 a.m. start to an 8:30 or 9:30 start typically saves 20 to 40 minutes per day. Over a year, that's 80 to 160 hours.
80 to 160 hours. That's genuinely life-changing.
It really is. Second, batch your errands. Avoid that 9:30 to 11:30 delivery van window and the late afternoon school pickup. If you work from home some days, try to do your grocery runs in the 11:30 to 2:30 window.
Right.
Third, and this is especially for people in cities like London, Birmingham, Bristol, Manchester, consider multimodal. Drive to a park and ride, take the bus or train in. Even with parking costs, the maths often works out because you're saving on fuel, congestion charges, and city center parking.
And I suppose you're saving your sanity too.
Massively. And then the last thing, when you're experimenting with all this, only change one variable at a time. Change your departure time for a week, see what happens. Then maybe try a different route the next week. If you change everything at once, you won't know what actually made the difference.
That's good scientific method, isn't it?
Basically, yeah. And I think the most important thing is the best commute is the one you can actually sustain. A brilliant route that requires waking at 5:30 a.m., that's going to fail within a month. You've got to optimize for your actual life, not a spreadsheet.
I love that. Optimize for your life, not a spreadsheet. Okay, before we wrap up, you mentioned regional differences. Does where you live change the playbook much?
Quite a bit, actually. London is its own beast. The congestion charge, ULEZ, the density. Driving into central London is rarely the fastest option, even off-peak. Most Londoners are better off optimizing their tube or rail journey. For orbital trips, the M25, North and South Circular, you want to finish before 6:30 a.m. or after 10 a.m. in the morning, and before 3 p.m. or after 7:30 p.m. in the evening.
Those are tight windows.
They are. The northern cities, Manchester, Leeds, Liverpool, Sheffield, they tend to have sharper but shorter peaks. Morning often clears fully by 9:30, evening by 6:15. And school holidays make an even bigger difference there because a higher proportion of people drive rather than take public transport.
And rural commutes? That must be totally different.
Yeah, rural kind of flips everything. Congestion happens on narrow, single carriageway sections rather than at junctions. Weather has an outsized effect, and a single accident can close your route for hours. So for rural commuters, the biggest win is usually route diversity, knowing 2 or 3 alternative routes rather than time shifting.
That makes sense. Different problem, different solution.
Exactly.
All right, so let me try to pull this together for everyone. The big takeaway is your commute is not a fixed cost. About 60% of the time you lose in traffic is avoidable. Start by logging your commute for a fortnight. Departure time, arrival time, weather, events, stress level. Identify your 1 or 2 bottlenecks. Then use the window finder tool. It's free, no sign up, to find the specific departure windows that work for your route. And if you can, negotiate even a 30-minute flex on your working hours, because that alone could save you 80 to 160 hours a year. Oh, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are the new worst days, not Monday.
That's a perfect summary. And I just add, try 3 departure times over 3 weeks. Your current time, 20 minutes earlier, and 30 minutes later.
The later option wins more often than people expect because it lands after the school run clears.
Oh, that's a great tip to end on. Assad, thank you. This has been genuinely useful. I'm going to start my logging experiment tomorrow.
Do it and let me know how it goes. Thanks, Angela.
Quick side note, this guide connects with other cost saver blogs, especially True Cost of Car Ownership, UK car insurance groups and the myths around them, and avoiding hidden fees when choosing the cheapest UK courier.
Exactly, and reading those together helps you connect the dots across your household budget, not just this one topic in isolation.
And if you want to apply this immediately, jump into tools like UK Traffic right after this episode.
Primary sources used here include NRIC's 2023 Global Traffic Scorecard and Department for Transport, so you can verify the data yourself and stay evidence-led.
That wraps this cost saver conversation with Angela and Assad. If this helped, share it with someone who could put these ideas to work this week.
Your next step is simple. Try UK Traffic, then read True Cost of Car Ownership, and use them together to take action today.